My son slapped me and said, "This isn't your home anymore. Get out." The words landed harder than the slap itself. His hand struck my face with a force I never imagined he was capable of. Certainly not toward me. Not physically, not emotionally, not ever. And yet, there it was, happening in the living room of the house my husband and I had built together, less than 5 feet from the casket where his father still lay. White lilies drooped under the weight of their own perfume. Mourning relatives whispered in low, respectful voices. Grief filled the air. And then my son raised his hand. My cheek burned, but the deeper pain came from betrayal. I had just buried my husband, and now I was being erased? "I said it clearly," he hissed, his voice unrecognizable. "Get out." Behind him stood his wife, arms crossed, chin lifted, a faint smirk touching her lips. She had always believed the house was hers. She had always treated me like a temporary guest in the home where I had lived for decades. I had given birth to this boy. I had held his hand when he cried over scraped knees and broken toys. I had stayed up nights nursing fevers and worrying over school problems. I had fought a principal when he was wrongly blamed in 5th grade. I had worked double shifts to pay for his tuition when his father lost his job. I had done all of it without expecting praise. And now he was throwing me out? Didn't cry. Shock had built a wall inside me too thick for tears to escape. I looked him straight in the eyes. He couldn't hold my gaze. I could hold his, because in that moment, I wasn't just a grieving widow or a dismissed mother. I was something steadier, something older, something he had underestimated. I turned without a word. My suitcase was still in the hallway, barely unpacked from the hospital visit a week earlier, my husband's final stay. I pulled it toward the door, my footsteps soft against the hardwood floors we had laid together 37 years earlier. I didn't take everything. I left the photo albums. I left the ceramic angel my mother gave me. I even left my favorite quilt. But I took something they would regret losing. I took the mortgage. Outside, the Alaskan air struck my face again, but it was kinder than my son's hand. Snow drifted down in slow, quiet flakes, settling into the folds of my black coat. I didn't brush it away. The cold made me feel real, alive. I walked down the driveway, past the car my husband and I had paid off together, past the rose bushes we planted on our 20th anniversary, past the wind chimes that used to sing when Andrew came home from school. No one followed me. At the corner gas station, I called for a taxi and sat on the bench while I waited. A teenage clerk recognized me and came outside. "Nam, are you okay?" he asked gently. "I'm fine," I lied, just waiting for a ride. He offered to let me wait inside where it was warm. He didn't ask about the bruise blooming on my cheek. He didn't stare. The motel room smelled like bleach and loneliness, but the heater worked and the bed was clean. I lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, replaying the words over and over. This isn't your home anymore. They didn't know everything. They didn't know my name was still on the deed. They didn't know I was a co-borrower on the mortgage. They didn't know about the documents. A week before my husband died, he pressed an envelope into my hands. "Don't open it," he said. "Not unless Andrew hurts you." Inside was a supplemental will, signed, notarized, and ironclad. The next morning, I called the bank. "Yes," I said calmly. "I'm requesting that the automatic mortgage payments be stopped." They verified my name, verified my authority. "You're listed as a co-owner and co-borrower," the banker said. "You're allowed to do that." By noon, the locks would work. By the end of the week, the bank wouldn't. That house didn't fall from the sky. It was built brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice. In 1987, when winter nearly buried us under heating bills and snowdrifts, my husband and I signed our first mortgage papers. His credit was ruined from a failed auto shop. The banks turned him away. But I had steady work at the clinic. My income opened the door, so my name went on the deed. We paid every month. Sometimes that meant skipping dinners out. Sometimes it meant patching the roof ourselves with duct tape and determination. But we never missed a payment. When my husband got sick, everything changed. Medical bills piled up. Insurance barely helped. I worked nights. I cleaned houses on weekends. I counted pennies and smiled anyway. I never told Andrew how hard it was. I wanted to protect him. Maybe that was my mistake. Because when his wife moved in, she treated the house like her kingdom. She changed curtains, repainted walls, replaced furniture. She once told me I should ask before touching things while dusting my own bookshelf. I cried alone that night, not because of her words, but because I saw what was coming. When my husband died, I placed every document in a safe deposit box. I protected my son all his life, but I protected myself too. 3 days after the slap, I returned to the bank. "You'd like to terminate automatic payments?" the loan officer asked. "Yes," I said, and flagged the account. She hesitated, then nodded. "You're fully authorized." 10 minutes. 10 minutes undid what they thought was permanent. I sent the files to my lawyer, included the audio recording from the night Andrew slapped me. "This isn't your home anymore. Get out." Clear, undeniable. The clause activated. 31 days later, the foreclosure notice arrived. Andrew called that night. "Mom, we're going to lose the house." "I told you it wasn't mine," I said quietly. Then I hung up. At the family meeting, I laid everything on the table: the wills, the mortgage, the recording. No shouting, no drama, just truth. My lawyer explained the clause. Andrew lost everything. I didn't keep the house. I sold it. The proceeds went to an organization that turns homes into shelters for displaced senior women. Women like me. Now I live in a small cabin by a lake in Alaska. No shouting, no locks changed behind my back, just water, trees, and silence that feels earned. I sleep through the night. I write my story. I speak for women who were told to disappear quietly. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means patience. It means memory. It means power waiting for the right moment. I didn't lose a home. I reclaimed myself.